Hedgehog. Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast. I'm one of the students, Morg.
I am the other student, Devon.
And I'm the teacher, Dan. This week we decided to talk about, well, we didn't decide, we rolled for, Sonic SatAM, Season 1, Episodes 6 and 7, I believe.
The creator of this show went, sorry everyone, these episodes are going to have a lot of Anton bashing. Don't read.
Mm-hmm.
And I simply said I love to see Anton get bashed. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just annoying.
Mm-hmm. We've got a little bit of news, and one particularly big piece of news that I will get to shortly, but first the small news. Colleen O'Shaughnessy will be retaining her role as Tails in Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yay.
Let's go.
Yeah, like the movie.
Yeah.
That's the, for those who don't know, I only know this because of the tweet, but it's the Sonic Boom Tails is playing the live action Tails.
Yeah. She played Tails during his brief cameo in the first film as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else? Okay. The second biggest piece of news is that during the Game Awards, which are happening right now, at the time of this recording, the Sonic 2 trailer is going to go live. So, at any time, whenever it drops during this recording, we are probably going to stop talking about whatever we're talking about and instead talk about the trailer.
Do you want to link it to us, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Let me link the Game Awards. I just copied the link. Let me paste it. Also...
Live on-air reactions.
Mm-hmm. Also, the other thing is that, I did order the pizza that came with the Final Fantasy XIV emote. So I might leave during that. That's supposed to be arriving in about 11 minutes, maybe 10 to 20 minutes. So, look forward to that.
I hope it's good.
Mm-hmm. So, now that we've gotten that news out of the way...
are we going to talk about Ken Benners?
Well, sort of. We're going to be talking about Scourge the Speed Demon.
Hooray!
Thanks in advance to Bobby Schroeder for writing a sort of like post all this write-up of what happened.
Bobby's the person... Sorry, Bobby's the person who runs Thanks Ken Penders, right?
Yeah, she runs Thanks Ken Penders.
She does a lot of cool stuff online. I actually know her more for her, like, video game stuff.
Yeah, she's also the developer for an upcoming indie RPG that looks really, really good. Look up Super Lesbian Animal RPG if you get the chance. It's cool. It's in the last act of development. Like they're about to start on the final chapter.
I'm so excited.
Scourge the Speed Demon. We start our journey on August 18th, 2021. If you recall an earlier episode of the show, we did talk about this. Ken Penders intended to license out, the characters he, owned, from Archie that he couldn't really use in the Lara Sue Chronicles. This includes Prince Elias, Jeffrey St. John, Queen Alicia, and this is the specific one, Scourge the Hedgehog. Scourge, as a reminder, is evil Sonic, but he went through some fucked up and twisted shit. Now he's green, he's got big scars on his chest, and a bunch of other cool stuff that kind of happened after all this. Or after he left.
He's Manix Punkosi.
Yeah. After that, we cut ahead to a few days later. Ian Flynn is asked on his podcast, The Bumblecast, which I used to listen to. It's pretty nice. The Q&A can be a bit of an exercise in needing people to understand what an NDA is.
Oh no.
Lots of people like to send in questions to him that he literally cannot legally answer. But anyways, someone asks him about the licensing offer, and he just says he can't really do that himself because he's a freelancer. He doesn't represent Sega. He doesn't represent IDW. He notes that it probably wouldn't be worth it to do this, since Sega would probably care about that anyways. You'd have to do a lot of stuff to, like, separate the base character from the sort of legacy they have. This is his personal guess, and all that other stuff. All that other legal jargon. So, going forward, Ken releases, that night, Ken Penders releases an outline of his licensing deal, which we, mentioned before. This involves $10,000 up front and royalties for a 2-year license deal. Yeah. I'm rambling on a bit, but let's cut ahead to August 26th. Search the Tenrec, is announced, to be in the, Sonic IDW series, why am I forgetting the name of it? Imposter Syndrome. She's green, she's black, she's based on a Glitch character. People compare her to Scourge because she's like an evil Sonic.
Ooh.
By the way, at the time of this recording, the first issue of Imposter Syndrome is out. It is available for reading. It's
How
neat.
is it? Oh, it's neat.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Surge the Tenrec is great in it. Kitsunami, aka Kit the Fennec, is also really good. It's got more Starline, so that's already a win.
Making Hard Eyes at it already.
Mm-hmm. It's about... The first issue is about Dr. Starline making children, like, artificial children, so he can get someone to beat up Sonic and Tails for him.
Fantastic.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. August 30th. Ken Pender's deal has not gotten any bites, but he notes several parties are interested. Wait, is this sarcastic? Or no, he said in a tweet that several parties are interested in licensing his characters. Let's see. Skip ahead a few months later to November 15th. Scourge the Speed Demon is announced. We get a cover. Scourge, he's got a jacket, he's got not a big cigar. He's got a cigar, but
A big
otherwise
funny
he
cartoon
looks...
cigar that blows up in his face when he smokes it.
He's got some mild changes to make him a little different from his comic incarnation. The scar looks different. He's got a jacket and a cigar, as I said earlier. But anyways, it's announced it's being worked on by the group Rush Comics. This is Patreon funded. It is immediately met with criticism.
Of course.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, who's surprised?
Yeah. They note, you didn't make that design, even though you have the character. The stories where he was cool were written by other people. And anyways, then people find out about the previous Rush comic, which, long story short, had a scene involving sexual harassment that was pretty bad and framed in a positive light in the story. And also, the lead artist is super alt-right, based on their follows on Twitter. This includes Breitbart, PragerU, Steven Crowder. I almost said Steven Chowder.
Steven Chowder. Steven Dipperman Chowder.
Mr. Steven Chowder himself.
Yes.
It'd be one thing if it was like, oh, this is a lefty person following, but like they're clearly not. Like they're like just following these like.
So,
Serious
someone messages Ken Penders the following. This person's identity has been left anonymous for other people, or has been left anonymous for their own privacy. Are you going to address the allegations that the head artist for the comic is allegedly a white supremacist? Based off your left-leaning profile, I'm very shocked you're okay with this. Ken Penders' response. I didn't check the political leanings of the people I'm doing business with, as I didn't think that was relevant. Nor did I think being a fan of Ian Flynn was relevant when taking on someone to do a job for me. I'm a, quote, give a person a chance, unquote, type of guy.
I personally love to give Nazis a chance.
I almost as much as I like giving a chance to someone who likes the comics my rival wrote. My self-decided rival.
Yeah.
One-sided, all that. November 16th, the Scourge the Speed Demon team releases a statement. To tackle something directly, our lead artist does not believe in hateful ideologies, and we do not support or condone such beliefs. It started with a baseless accusation in an attempt to depace our comic and our team. We will not tolerate any harassment. We understand we are an unknown factor creating the next Scourge miniseries, but focusing on someone's outdated following feed does not confirm such awful accusations. Said rumor has spiraled based on misinterpretation. Ken Penders licensed the character of Scourge to Rush Comics, not for anywhere near the rumored amount, as we only have Scourge. He isn't involved creatively. The entire comic will be our own vision. We are just fans that saw an opportunity to work with a character we love. Now that's cleared up, we look forward to releasing these issues as they come out to share with the public. This doesn't help.
Nope.
November 17th. Imposter Syndrome issue 1 comes out, as I mentioned earlier. Just noting that. People like Surgeon Kit. Over the course of this day and the next day, people noticed that someone working on the comic under the announcement tweet, there are some deleted replies in the tweet thread. People get suspicious. The lead artist unfollows the far right accounts. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she did genuinely, maybe they were from the past, maybe they were irony follows, who knows. But she stopped, and also gives, like, an excuse of, I'm an Australian, I don't know about American politics.
Okay.
Great.
But Australia is extremely affected by American politics. Like,
Also,
to the extent that, like, people... Like, yeah, I understand not following, like, every damn thing, but, like, we've gotten to the point where, like, you kinda gotta, like,
Yes.
at least know stuff happening in other English-speaking countries, you know?
the
Yeah.
thing about
I mean,
PragerU
And
and
hopefully
Breitbart,
beyond that, but...
the thing about PragerU and Breitbart is they're extremely, like, American-centric politics, but, like, the like, whistles, like, the dog whistles are the same. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
like, the anti-Semitism, the,
Right.
like, racism, the homophobia, like, it's all the same on those sites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's, like... Even if there's not, like, Australian Breitbart, like, there's something that would be essentially Australian Breitbart, you know? Like,
Right.
even if it's not, like, the same site or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can follow,
Right.
like...
That's so stupid.
Yeah, if I follow, like, a right-wing nationalist, like, blog from, like, I don't know, like, Britain or something, I'm gonna be able to recognize it almost immediately. Like, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is right-wing talking points. These are the same. The people's names are different,
Yeah,
but
like,
this is the same.
If I was following, like, I don't know, some right-wing British person, like, if I was following, I'm forgetting his name, I'm forgetting some names, but pretty much any right-wing person in any other country would still be a red flag. Like, if I were following, I don't know why I'm thinking, I can't remember the name of the Prime Minister of the UK, I'm sorry.
Boris Johnson.
Yeah, if I were following
Boris
Boris
Johnson?
Johnson, that would still be really weird.
It'd be kind of strange. It'd be one thing if you were like...
Yeah, like,
I don't know. Whoop. Sorry, I fucking made
Like-
a noise. If you, like, were like, oh, I'm gonna follow this funny, shitty guy, and I don't know that he's... that he's, like, politically bad.
Right.
Like, okay, I get that. Then just, like, if someone tells you something... listen to them and move on. Like, just, it's the excuses, too. Like, it's not
Right.
just like, oh, I'm expected to look at everyone's following. Like, no, you're not expected to look at what everyone's following, but if someone's telling you that, like, listen to what they're saying and move on from that. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, and it's not like they're following a person to be like, oh, Boris Johnson made, like, a stupid funny tweet, haha. They're following, like, Breitbart News and, like,
Yeah.
reading their articles. Like,
Like, it would be really weird if I was following the Daily
yeah,
Mail.
it's like me subscribing to the
that'd
Daily
be
Mail
kinda
and being
weird.
like, oh, I
I'd be
just do
like-
it to make fun of them.
I'd be like, damn, why are you following
Oh.
the Daily Mail? Are you, like, trying to keep tabs on them? Like, that's one thing, I guess, but you're like, no, I just like them for their articles. It's like,
Excuse me.
okay.
The pizza's here.
Go
Hello.
get that pizza.
That's fine, I'll just keep talking about, like...
It's just, like, really weird.
Like, I don't know, because I understand people being like, I don't know everything that they're doing, but it's like, okay, someone told you what they're doing.
And
Don't be like,
the thing about
don't backlash at
Breitbart
them
and
then,
PragerU
you know?
is that, like,
Just be like, okay, I get it now.
it's not like Breitbart and PragerU are, like, centrist right also, where it's like, this could be coded language,
No.
where I'm like, yeah, any centrist liberal, I can see them, like, reading that initially and being like, yeah, this sounds good, and not knowing the talking points. It's fucking Breitbart and PragerU. Like, they are what they are. They are far right,
Yeah.
like, political powers, and they post what they post.
Yeah, they're like political. It'd be if someone, I don't know, was like, it'd be different if you were like, oh, I'm following, what the fuck is, what's the paper that Jeff Bezos technically owns? Is it Washington Post?
I think so. It's one of those two. Like,
yeah, it'd be one thing. I'd be like, okay, I mean, that's annoying, but I'm not gonna be like people think it's more credible. I'm not gonna, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I personally, because I'm like pretty left, like would be like, that's annoying, but I'm not gonna be like, that's weird. You're fucking listening to weird right-wing fucks. Like,
also the whole thing of,
I would say they're probably more right than a lot of like Fox News and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's not like this person was following like just Fox News and people are like, hey, do you know that's weird? And they're like, it's just a news source.
And like even that
yeah,
sucks.
that sucks,
Yeah.
but like they can be like, it's just a news source. I'm just like, it's fucking Breitbart. Everyone knows what Breitbart's about. Everyone knows what fucking Steve Bannon is about. Everyone knows what Breitbart's about. If you don't, you are being willfully ignorant.
Yeah.
All this to say, all this controversy is getting started over Scourge.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I just fucking
It's like-
Scourge. Getting started over the
It's just Sonic. Like, Scourge is just evil Sonic. He's literally just
It's
evil
getting
Sonic.
over the evil Sonic that fucks. Like, that's what this is all getting started over, is the evil Sonic that fucks. Fucking Ken Penders is like...
Evil Sonic that...
Evil
Sonic that fucks is just Shadow.
You know, I would say
I'm
that,
just
but
kidding.
Shadow never
doesn't
fucks.
fuck.
Shadow doesn't have time.
Shadow doesn't fuck, and he's not
Shadow
evil.
is good, and he does not have time to fuck.
He's like an anti-hero or whatever.
The thing I only bring that up is because I was on the Scourge villain wiki, and it did say one of his powers is flirting.
Yo, that's one of my powers? Just kidding, I'm not good at flirting.
Scourge's
But
secret ability.
that's like something a normal person
Scourge's
can
secret
do.
ability where he hits on you.
Secret ability is flirting.
This is one of Scourge's special moves.
What if he's like... What if he's like a siren, you know? Like,
Oh yeah, you hear the song of Scourge.
He makes
Yeah,
you
you hear
crash
the
your
song of
boat.
Scourge, and you're like, what beautiful creature could be doing this? And then you see fucking Scourge in the distance.
You're like, oh, that's a weird...
You're like,
hedgehog,
oh
man.
no. Instead of like a cool bird monster, you get fucking Scourge in the distance.
I'm back. Sorry about the wait.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We were just talking about Scourge being a siren and making people crash their boats.
Oh,
And that'll be fun to edit later.
I'm gonna have fun with that one, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about how on Scourge's villain wiki, one of his powers is listed as flirting. So I was like, oh, he's the evil Sonic who fucks.
Oh boy, I just remembered something that happens right at the end of Ken Pender's run of Scourge.
Oh, no.
Great!
Well, in the meantime,
Right at the end of Ken Pender's Sonic run of Scourge, Scourge leaps through the comic book page and fucks my wife specifically. It was controversial at the time, but everyone says it really made it a great reading experience.
so,
Everyone wants to be cucked by Scourge.
3 days of radio silence. On November 19th, the Scourge the Speed Demon Twitter is gone. The Patreon is taken down. It made like $29. All
Great!
I
All
wouldn't even
men-
care if I got that back, honestly.
all mentions of the series are scrubbed from the Rush Comics website. The writer releases a statement explaining that the project has been cancelled after 4 days after its announcement because of the backlash. I'm sorry, I'm just repeatedly just reading word for word Bobby's article. Read the article, it's good.
I'm surprised that it, like, worked
Yeah, it's all
surprised
good.
it worked that well. Or like,
Mm-hmm.
did they say any? I hate to ask this. Were they
they-
like, this is cancel culture to me?
So here's the statement they made. We're scrapping the Scourge comic due to the sheer toxic reactions and presumptions from the community. We wanted to work with this...
Well, you're writing a Scourge toxic, so toxic is kind of its
We
thing.
wanted to work with this character and create a story and world fitting of the King, and share with the people who wanted to see Scourge make a return.
Oh my god.
It's painfully clear to us.
Who?
No matter how high quality of the series would have turned out, it would still be shit on regardless due to the extreme pre-existing biases and unfair judgment before an actual issue was released. What we simply saw as an exciting opportunity to work with a character we all enjoyed was quickly turned into a shitstorm. We tried to bring Scourge back, only to be met with hostility and unacceptable behavior. We're not going to subject ourselves to that kind of abuse just for a creative endeavor when we have other opportunities lined up to focus our time and talents into. We wanted to thank the people who were kind enough to offer us encouragement and support. We have already refunded all donations in full. Yes.
We've already sent everyone their $29 back.
So, yeah, that's the whole story.
I wish in a horrible reality, they would have continued with the project and just released a statement that says, "Don't you idiots know Scourge likes the toxicity?"
Just double
Scourge.
down on it. I could see that happening in another world.
Yeah, like Scourge loves this.
Oh boy. So that's all the news for now until the Sonic trailer drops, which it might at any time during this recording. I have no idea. So, let's get into these episodes. I
gotta say about these episodes, I keep getting tricked by the Sonic series because it's a Sonic cartoon that I assume played in the morning. So I'm always just like, yeah, this will probably have a moral on it. And I'm always wrong because the moral is just Sonic kicks ass.
Right.
It's always that Sonic kicks ass. He I don't know why, but like, that character's kind of all annoyed me this episode. I don't know if it was just because these episodes.
It's like,
I don't know if it was just like because I'm in a bad mood or Sonic's voice annoyed me. I don't know. I was just like, ugh, stop it. You all suck.
it's fair.
I was just like, oh, a Sonic race episode. The moral is probably going to be like, oh, Sonic doesn't need to be the fastest on Mobius to know he's the best or whatever. No, Sonic still kicks ass this episode. There is no moral. He's no rules. And then the next episode with Anton, I was like, oh, Sonic is going to realize Anton is a valuable member of the team. No, Sonic's like, Anton sucks ass and I saved his last.
I think the first one has a little bit of the moral. We can get into it. I mean,
no, for real, that's a good note.
Yeah, we'll get there. I just, every time I'm bowled over because I'm like, a moral lesson. And then it's like, no, Sonic rules. And I'm like, thank you.
Sonic rules, Anton drools.
Today, yes.
It's true. They're right.
Yes.
So right now at the Game Awards, Ben Schwartz is making an announcement. I think the trailer's about to happen, but I'm not sure.
God.
Yeah. I mean,
my eyes are
this isn't
fucking
like the
glued
real
to the
trailer.
screen.
This is a blank DVD
Oh.
for effect. If this
Oh,
was the real
he just
trailer,
took out a golden
we'd be
disc.
screwed because there's no computer with a DVD drive anymore. So this would be like
I'm waiting patiently to hear
Anyway, I can't tell you how
Idris
excited
Elba
we all
Knuckles.
are about Sonic 2. So many incredible people
Talk
are in
about
this
Idris
movie. We
Elba
got James
Knuckles.
Marsden, Tika Sumpter, Colleen
Knuckles
O'Shaughnessy
the
as
enchilada.
Tails, Idris Elba as
so-
Knuckles.
yeah.
And of course, the legend Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
We just cut. Like,
Now, Jim has actually sent a very special video over to say hello
Jim
to all
Carrey is
of
so
you,
Robotnik.
and you guys are in luck, because I have the video with me right here. Oh,
Be real.
Okay,
It'd be
he's
real weird if they switched
It'd be
that.
fucked
Roll
up
the
if he
video,
wasn't.
Jim, what do you say?
It'd be real fucking weird.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Ben.
they just
Sorry I couldn't
get,
be there with
I don't
you.
know,
I look
some
forward to
other
meeting all
guy,
of your
but
avatars in the metaverse.
Jim Carrey is now making an official statement.
Hey, before you see
he
this
couldn't
exciting
make
new
it.
Sonic trailer,
He's on a
I'd like to pass
big
on a word of
video.
advice that my Scottish
He's
grandfather
behind
gave
a
me
very
when I was
ornate
a
looking
boy. He
door.
said, son, don't
Yeah, is he on a
grade
boat?
it in the
Is
grinder.
he on like a pirate ship? Where is he?
Don't do it, son. Don't grade it in the grinder, boy. Grade it? By all means, grade it till the cows come home. But don't grade it in the grinder. And then to drive the point home, he put his hands around my neck and he squeezed real hard and he said, don't do it, son!
What the fuck is he talking about?
I love this Jim Carrey.
Don't
kills
grade
you
it in the
ASMR
grinder!
right now.
He's choking the camera out right now.
It's a hell of a bit.
Thank you, Jim.
Jim Carrey kills you ASMR is what I fall
if you need
asleep
to.
to.
Good? Great. Okay, here we go. Thank you again for continuing to
let's
support
see.
the Blue
Ben
Blur,
Schwartz
and it
back
is
to
my
making
honor
jokes.
to present to you the trailer
Everyone has masks
for
in the
Sonic the
audience.
Hedgehog 2. Enjoy.
Very funny.
Hedgehog 2, enjoy.
I think I might be desynced. Let me resync with you.
Yeah, I think I also.
Oh, the trailer has started. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Eating a chili dog.
Yep.
He's running. He's driving.
He's gonna make a difference in... What is this city? I think it was Seattle. I think that was the Space Needle
I was
earlier.
like, this is a big
Shut-
city. He's not in that little town anymore.
That moment chooses you.
Shell City.
Goosebumps.
Antics.
Did you steal that from Oprah?
Oh, Big Egg. There's a big chaos storm. His dad is giving him a lesson on a
lecture.
boat.
Brand new stash.
Robotnik is back. He's bald. Oh, good. Agent Stone is still here.
He's got a new fit.
Yeah.
Yes! His
It's a good
boyfriend's
fit.
still here.
I'm
Is that the
so
Master
glad.
Emerald?
That's the Master Emerald. Holy shit.
Sorry, who are you?
Let's fucking
Big
go.
ol' Master Emerald.
Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Step one.
It Tails.
There's Tails.
Two, I have no idea.
He doesn't know Tails yet.
Doesn't know how to stand on an airplane yet.
Today's forecast calls for a 100%
Gotta learn to stand on an airplane.
It's in April?
It's April. That's right. I think there wasn't a release date
His
announcement.
little buddy.
Face it, you're never going to
Let's
get my
see.
power.
Master Emerald Shrine.
He's glowing.
I need your power.
He ran into Knuckles.
Oh
Knuckles.
shit! It's Knuckles.
Oh shit, it's Knuckles.
Sonic, meet.
Idris Elba be like, do you think I need your powers? No.
It's a good voice. It does look like Robotnik has manipulated Knuckles into working for him, which, you know,
Of course
true
he
to
has.
the games.
Tale as old as time.
Mm-hmm. And that's the trailer. I'm gonna Dan, from 1 to 2 weeks from now, have fun editing that.
That'll be fun because we're just sitting here like, glowing.
I
Yeah,
might
we're just
see
sitting
if I
here
can
like,
see-
hey, it's Knuckles.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
it's
going to
Knuckles.
close the Game Awards now.
Yeah, I don't care about the rest happening.
Yeah, that was all we needed for this podcast.
I'll
The
just,
Game
like,
Awards.
I'll find out if anything cool comes out. Like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say something and then I was really sad because I was gonna talk about Silk Song and how it's never
Yeah.
gonna come out.
I was gonna say, the Game Awards better not bother me unless they're announcing Silk Song.
Someday.
No, I've given up on that dream.
Silk Song's moment of silence. So,
When will Hornet return home from the war?
When will she? So,
let's talk about these episodes, maybe.
Right.
Hey,
How far
episodes.
are we into this recording? We are 35 minutes into the recording, and we're finally talking about the episodes.
Well, here's the thing about these episodes. Not a lot happens.
Not a lot happens, and there's only 2 of them, so
Yeah.
I feel okay about this.
Yeah, this is actually splendid.
Mm-hmm. So, episode 6, Sonic Racer. Sonic leads Bunny and Sally through Robotropolis. They find these pipes that are carrying electricity. Maybe they're big cables, I don't know.
Yeah,
cables.
Sally just puts a stethoscope up to a pipe that is literally just sitting there going, and she's like, yep, definitely electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic distracts some robots so that they can, like, make the electricity go out.
Yeah. Like, Sally and Bunny work together to, like, get into the, generator room proper. I guess it's a plant, whatever. Bunny, like, smashes her way through, like, any gateways or obstacles while Sally does the hacking. Sonic the Hedgehog says, all alone on a Saturday night? You need a serious bath. Sally hacks into the generators and gets them to malfunction and go on fire and generally make things bad for Robotnik.
We cut to a funny shot of Snively, I forget his name in this. He's like, hey, Robotnik.
I think it's Snively, yeah.
Snively. And he's like, hey, Robotnik, we have a bit of a problem. And Robotnik's like, one second, I'm fixing my chicken. And he has like a 15-second like sequence
He is
of him
fixing
just
his chicken.
fixing his chicken. And he's like, okay, now tell me. I just thought that was cute.
Yeah.
He's like, it's very important that I fix my chicken.
I do love his little chicken robot that he keeps with him at all times.
He loves it.
What if Jim Carrey had a chicken robot?
You know, I
as
think
a friend.
That would be pretty good.
Jim Carrey Robotnik. Or just regular Jim Carrey, too. I meant Jim Carrey Robotnik.
I assume Jim Carrey has a chicken that is his friend. Robot or not.
I'd believe that. They go on Code Red Alert. Sonic and his friends escape. They're cheering. But Sally's not feeling so good because, she realizes they needed to get the backup generator too.
Yeah, Sonic's like, oh, we'll be fine. And then he's like, oh, I'm wrong, when the whole place goes back up again.
Yeah, it's a very big, don't forget the second avalanche moment, because Sally's like, oh, damn, I think we probably should have gone over the backup generator. And Sonic's like, what's the best I could do? Yeah. And then the city just returns to full power like normal.
Yeah, they forgot to do the optional objective, so they get the, mediocre ending. They're gonna have to go back and get that backup generator at some point. But in the meantime, Snively has an idea. He's going to appeal to Sonic's ego with a speed contest. It's the perfect trap.
Yeah, it fucking works, too.
It works!
There's no like, oh, we'll construct a plan to make them think it works. No, it just completely works.
Like Sonic gets a flyer. Like these flyers are being handed out. Well, we don't see it. Anyways, Sonic gets a flyer. He reads it. He says, "This is an obvious trap, but I'm going to do it anyway because I need to prove I'm the fastest."
Wait. Yeah, that does bring something into relief. The whole thing about Robotnik in this one is he doesn't know where Knothole Village is, and he doesn't know where the freedom fighters are hiding. Did he just sprinkle these flyers through the entire forest, or?
I can only assume so. He doesn't know where the hideout is, but he knows where the Great Forest is, so I guess that's how he spread them.
Yeah, he just flew
he
by.
He does keep trying to just burn.
Just flying through the air.
He does keep trying to just burn down the whole fucking forest, so he doesn't have to find.
Yeah. Sonic's got this. He's going to do this. Meanwhile, Robotnik and Snively test out a machine that is meant to go against Sonic. It's some sort of robotic beast. It's some sort of quadruped. Maybe a cheetah, maybe a lion or a horse. It's not clear.
Gotta be honest, thought I was about to see Metal Sonic here for a second.
If only.
If only. It's like a yellow...
It's a cheetah.
I just considered it was like a... Yeah, like a cheetah or
cheetah's
something.
probably the closest and most intended. Plus
spots, I guess.
Yeah. Robotnik sounds like he's nutting when he realizes how fast it is. It goes super fast, but then, he says, "That's good. That's very good. And it was only going at half speed."
It's toxic.
That's good.
That's good.
It's fast. That's good.
He is basically just... Robotnik and SatAM is an encapsulation of the famous Stephen Wolf Snyder verse quote, "It's toxic. That's good."
He does kind of be sounding like that more than a lot of the other
kind of be
Robotniks
sounding
do.
like Miss Uncle Steppy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the Freedom Fighters, hideout, Knothole Village, whatever, Bunny's reading Tales of Bedtime Story about, Little Red Riding Hood. I bring this up for later reasons. I think Sonic's here. I don't think I took enough notes on this scene.
Oh yeah, wait, who are you talking about with Little Red... Sonic's in... Sonic is Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He's, pretending that he's not there.
Yeah.
Even though, Robotnik is you're obviously Sonic, and I obviously wanted you to come here and race.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing into your fucking ego.
Yeah.
Stop pretending to be Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, they're like, "This was a big old trick, you dummy," and it worked. And he's like, "No, it didn't." And they're like, "Oh my god, yeah, it did."
So he sees the robot cheetah, Sonic's up in the race. Meanwhile, Bunny, Sally, Antoine are going to get to the backup
They keep
generator.
inviting Antoine on these missions and not fucking Rotor.
Yeah, they could just bring Rotor. He'd probably be significantly more useful in taking out a generator.
He also a tech guy?
He is a tech guy. That's his big role in this one, yeah.
I'm just they always bring Antoine, and they're always just fuck, why did we bring Anton? And I'm just yeah, why did you?
I just don't know why they bring it.
Do you think he stows away?
Anyways,
do you think he just sneaks along, and they're like, God damn it, we can't tell him we don't want him around?
Maybe.
They literally hate
Me
him.
too.
They hate him so much.
Him. But it's they hate him, and he's not a funny guy. He's not this dude with funny redeeming qualities either. You know how there's a funny sidekick? The first comparison I thought of was Ron Stoppable.
Yeah, he's not idiot with a heart of gold.
He's still
He's
like
idiot
this...
who is also really shitty.
Yeah, he's just an
He's
idiot.
idiot who is also really shitty.
And I'm like, why is he part of this team?
Well, it's
I don't
fine. We get the
understand.
Antoine redemption arc next episode. Oh, wait.
No,
We don't!
there is, like, one thing I know of about Antoine in this series that's, like, fun and interesting, but I thought it would happen next episode, but it doesn't. It'll happen someday.
It'll just never happen. I just assume he's gonna suck forever, and that's, you know.
He probably is. Even with that scene that I'm thinking about.
Here's a random thought that doesn't mean anything to anybody. Remember Cat?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, like, Commander Cat?
Oh, yeah.
Who they just let die in a jail cell?
I remember him.
Bring him back.
He just
Bring
sort
him
of
back.
died.
Replace him with Anton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is Anton, like... Does he do more in the comics?
Yes. Over the course of the comics, they sort of make him do more stuff. I know they give him, like... They sort of emphasize on him being, like, the sort of last surviving member of, like, the Royal Guard, or, like, he was in training, and, like, he eventually gets to do cool stuff with swords.
I love a good character arc.
That's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting. And I like characters, like, that are, like... I like a cowardly character. That's not the problem here. He just, like, sucks.
Yeah, it's not, like, cowardly...
Yeah.
But I'm also kind of like, well...
It's not like the Scooby-Doo cowardly either, where it's like, oh, he's a coward, but he'll always, like, luck into stopping the villain. No, it's like he's a coward, and also he makes everyone's days, like, harder.
Makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just, like, don't care about the other characters as much. I don't know.
Yeah. So...
Sorry.
Sonic has to race against this cheetah. There are no rules except stay on course. The race starts. Sonic's pretty even with this thing. He loses his cloak. Let's see. And we sort of like shift back and forth between Sonic in the race and, Sally, Antoine, and Bunny, trying to take down the generator. Let's see.
Yeah, and this is when I was talking about, like, in the chat, the mod chat, I was like, Anton, it's, like, clearing his throat, and I thought he was implying something when he was clearing his throat. But no, he was just being annoying to the other two. And I was like, why is he doing this? I know it's like, oh, he's annoying French guy who sucks, but I'm like, is he implying something? I don't understand.
There is like a scene where they're talking and he's just like clearing his throat and making noises, and I don't really get it. I don't, like, I could see a more interesting or intelligent, I feel like you could do stuff with this.
Yeah.
But they don't.
They could have been like, oh, he has an idea.
Yeah, it could be like he has an
idea,
or like he's noticed something important, but no one ever listens to him because they're like, shut up, Antoine, and I say, shut up, Antoine, too. And then at the end of the episode, he's like, guys, we could have just done this. And then I say, oh, thank God we brought you, Antoine. And I'm like, yeah. No.
Mm-hmm. No. So, it's just sort of shifting back and forth between Sonic and his race, and, the rest of the team taking out the generator. Let's see some highlights from this section. I
mean, Robotnik does everything he can to stop Sonic. Well, yeah. Technically Snively does, because he's, like, trying to... I know there was, like, a poison pit at one point.
Yeah, at some point, Sonic gets grabbed by a robot arm that's, like, pulling him into a toxic pit.
It's toxic, that's good.
Yep, it's toxic, that's good. Sonic manages to, run enough that he pulls himself free.
They do like a laser wall that they try to have him run directly into, and he just kind of jumps over it.
Yeah. Yeah, there is some wall. There's quite a bit of wall running, which is cool. Let's see.
It's funny because every time Sonic survives one of Snively's traps, Eggman is just, Robotnik is just saying there, it's just kind of like, hey, Snively, what the fuck?
He gets real mad at Snively.
I know, I'm like, Snively...
He gets, like, so mad.
I'm like, Snively... First you, like, are complimenting him on his, like, good ideas, and then Sonic gets out of it, and you're like, I'm gonna kill you if Sonic survives this race. Is kind of what it seemed like.
Right.
And it's like, dude...
It's like, hey, Snively, what the shit?
It's like, Eggman, dude, you're not doing anything either. You're not succeeding either. Why do you think this is the one chance for Snively? And it's not, like, Snively lives into the next episode, but he's so mad. It's like, dude!
Right.
I know, I'm like, why am I expecting a fucking evil guy to be consistent? But it's like, what the fuck are you trying to get from him?
Honestly, I'd say that's a fair thing. Like, I am thinking about SatAM, I'm thinking about Adventures, which, you know, goofy Looney Tunes thing, but there's always, like, an escalation, where it's like, the first phase is Scratch and Grounder fucking around, second phase is Robotnik steps in to finally get shit done, and then gets clowned on by Sonic.
Right, it's like this Robotnik who's like...
Yeah, it's a winning formula, and we all love it.
It's like this Robotnik is like... holds himself in a more, like, terrifying, like, overview kind of way, but he still, like, doesn't fix stuff. Right. And he gets like, he kind of gets clowned on also. Like, it's not in a funny way, because it's not I mean, it has funny parts, I guess, but it's not like Looney Tunes shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It really stuck out to me, because he kept getting mad, and I'm like, you're not doing anything. Fuck you.
Yeah. So, eventually, Sonic is near victory, and Sally needs to, like, get into this, like, control center to take out the generator, but it involves, like, going, I think, underneath this conveyor belt crusher thing. I don't even know. It's just for murder, I guess. And Antoine decides he's gonna do it, because he wants to impress Sally. And he immediately sets it off, immediately is falling into this trap, and Sonic has to quit the race to go help.
Yeah, they, like, use a flare to get Sonic's attention. And he just, like, kind of knows immediately that they need his help, and he, like, takes some, like, a sec to, like, look at the finish line place, but then, like, takes a hard right, I guess. Yeah. And just, like, goes to save Antoine. Yeah. Antoine, whatever the fuck his fucking name is.
Right.
Here's the thing about this episode. The whole time I was convinced, because they blew up the main generator, and Robotnik only has one backup generator. So I was going to be like, oh, this race is a distraction, so Robotnik can capture Sonic's friends, who are obviously going to go after the second generator.
Right.
No, I was thinking too smart for this episode, because Robotnik has no fucking clue about the generator.
Yeah.
He, like, forgot about it.
He's entirely focused on capturing Sonic.
He is focused on this foot race. He is not like, and I will place some guards near the generator so they can capture Sonic's friends, haha.
So... Hi, this is Dan, recording, while editing. As it turns out, my CPU maxed out, and I, lost a whole bunch of my own audio. Not taking care to save a backup. That audio's just gone. We lost about 10 minutes of, audio to that. And we ended up finishing describing this episode and started describing the next one. So, to fill that gap, I will be recording a synopsis reading of the Sonic News Network pages for Episode 6, Sonic Racer, and Episode 7, Hooked on Sonics, ending at the point where we left off, and starting at the point where we pick back up. So, get ready. Back in the generator building, Bunny tries to slow down the polybelt, but to no avail. Sally thus fires a distress flare through the skylight in order to call for Sonic's help. Meanwhile, Sonic notices the flare just as he sees the finish line in front of him. Although he is tempted to win the race, Sonic ultimately decides to abandon the race and run towards the backup generator. With Sonic now gone, Robotnik demands from a frightened Snively to know where he has disappeared to. Sonic soon arrives at the generator building and enters it through the skylight. Seeing Sally and Bunny trying desperately to hold the polybelt in place for Antoine, Sonic runs up the gears and insert another power ring into them. With the power ring fusing with the gears together, the whole generator system begins to jam up, and the heroes proceed to flee. Back in Robotnik's headquarters, Snively is unable to find Sonic. Having lost his patience, Robotnik makes Snively admit that he has lost Sonic and grabs him by the collar. Just as Robotnik is about to turn his anger at Snively, however, he notices that the backup generator is failing. Soon after, Robotropolis loses all electricity and is covered in darkness. Enraged, Robotnik lids up the room with his mechanical red eyes before turning his attention to a scared Snively again. Back in Knothole, Sonic, Sally, Bunny, and Antoine have gathered around a bonfire with Rotor, Tails, and other residents of Knothole to celebrate the destruction of the backup generator, which Sally proclaims is a giant step for them toward liberating Mobius from Robotnik's rule. Season 1, Episode 7, Hooked on Sonics. The episode begins with the Great Forest being cut down by the Shredder, which is being supervised by Snively and 3 SWAT bots, 2 of which are commandeering a hover unit. The Shredder then begins draining the life force energy from the fallen trees, which Snively explains to the SWAT bot that Dr. Robotnik will use to power his new invention, the Sonic Radar. However, the Shredder's rampage is halted by the appearance of Sonic. One of the SWAT bots wants to call for support, but Snively stops it and decides to entrust the destruction of Sonic to the Shredder. The Shredder itself opens its eye at the tip of one of its cables to take a look at Sonic, who makes the Shredder look the other way. Meanwhile, the other freedom fighters wonder what Sonic is doing, Antoine himself simply replies that Sonic is acting like a fool as usual. As the Shredder turns back to look at Sonic, the Shredder attacks him with its buzzsaw, but misses him, and instead cuts down another tree. Standing on the trunk under the Shredder, Sonic starts to run toward the robot's leg, while the Shredder's eye cable follows him. However, all of Sonic's friends cover their eyes just as the Shredder begins to swing its buzzsaw at Sonic from the front. Fortunately, Sonic avoids the Shredder's buzzsaw, leaving it to destroy its own eye cable. The SWAT bots in the hover unit proceed to attack Sonic with their lasers, only to hit one of the Shredder's leg instead. Sonic then makes the Shredder chase after him, making it trample over the hover unit in the process and forcing the SWAT bots to declare retreat. The Shredder's other eye cable then begins chasing after Sonic, but Sonic manages to trick it into wrapping itself around the Shredder's own legs. As the Shredder then tries to move, it falls down and is destroyed. Sonic then celebrates himself before running away. Back in Knothole Village during the night, where a bonfire has been lit, the freedom fighters congratulate Sonic on his victory. Sally, in particular, kisses Sonic, which Sonic soon afterwards returns in a very passionate manner. While Tails thinks that kissing girls is gross, Antoine is jealous and wonder what Sonic has, what he has not. Later, during the same evening, Antoine goes to the Lake of Rings, where he talks to Rotor. As it turns out, Antoine is depressed because the love of his life is more interested in Sonic than in him. Rotor agrees that Sonic is a tough act to follow, and jokingly replies that it would take something major to get Sally's attention, like capturing Robotnik and bringing him to Knothole. Rotor then bids Antoine farewell and takes his leave. However, Antoine is taking Rotor's suggestion seriously. As Antoine wonders how he is going to pull this off, however, he realizes he can use a power ring. In Robotropolis, Robotnik punishes his SWAT bot for having failed to stop Sonic once again by dumping it into a pit. Afterward, he calls a nervous Snively to him. Furious that Sonic has managed to destroy his Shredder, Robotnik orders Snively to rebuild it. Meanwhile, back in Knothole, Antoine is sleeping at the Lake of Rings. However, he tries and fails to keep himself awake. He is fully awakened, however, by the emergence of a power ring from the lake. Although Antoine is too late to grab the power ring before it falls back into the water, Antoine manages to pull it out with a stick. With the power ring in hand, Antoine declares that Robotnik is his. Sneaking into Robotropolis, Antoine hides from a hover unit as it passes by. After emerging from hiding, however, he is almost caught by a patrol of SWAT bots who start to look for him with their flashlights after hearing him trip over some scrap. However, Antoine manages to lose the SWAT bots by hiding on top of a ladder. Meanwhile, the SWAT bots conclude that the noise they heard came from a mechanical rat after seeing one run by, and resume their patrol. However, Antoine is soon after discovered by a surveillance orb, which he shows the power ring to. Antoine then begins telling Robotnik about how he possesses a power ring through the surveillance orb. Seeing the surveillance video, Snively informs Robotnik, who is working on the sonic radar, of what the surveillance orb has picked up. Wanting the power ring, Robotnik sends SWAT bots to capture Antoine. However, Antoine refuses to cooperate and demands that Robotnik come alone to the city limits if he wants the power ring. Antoine then tries to hide the power ring in his backpack, but it falls out and gets stuck in between some cables. However, Antoine manages to pull it out in time before the SWAT bots appear. He also hits the surveillance orb when it tries to follow him before disappearing into one of the alleys. Upon learning of Antoine's vanishing act, Robotnik orders Snively to prepare his hovercraft so he can meet up with Antoine and get the power ring. Meanwhile, back in the Great Forest, Sonic arrives at the Lake of Rings and notices that Antoine has disappeared. He sees, however, the stick Antoine used to pull the power ring out of the lake. Sonic also sees that there is some residual particles from the power ring on the stick, which makes him realize that they got an ant problem. Meanwhile, Antoine meets Robotnik outside Robotropolis. Antoine shows him the power ring, and Robotnik asks why Antoine would betray his friends. Offering him an answer, Antoine tells him to come and take the power ring first. Chrome just crashed for me because I had too many fucking tabs open.
Apparently there's a Sonic game.
Oh, I'm at 100% CPU. Okay. Shit. I've got to well, that is not important right now. What is important is, so, yeah. They do the exchange. They're at the Badlands. Robotnik falls down a pit that Antoine set up, and Antoine's gonna tie him up and capture him, but Robotnik isn't moved by this at all. He has jet boots, and he starts shooting lasers at Antoine from, like, his fingertips. He can do this stuff. So, yeah. Antoine gets captured. Sonic is talking with the Freedom Fighters about this. Rotor reveals that he did make a joke with him and did not realize that Antoine would take it seriously. So now
there is a long section in which the Freedom Fighters have to convince Sonic that Antoine is worth saving.
That's true.
And I'm on Sonic's side here.
You know what? Yeah.
Sally's like, oh, he would do the same for you. And Sonic's like, no, he wouldn't. And she's like, okay, maybe you're right, but come on.
You're right, but we need him.
He's
For
he's
what? Sorry, I'm
They're like, we need to at least get the ring back.
not to like completely derail everything. I just saw Sonic Breath of the Wild just now
Oh, yo, wait, what?
on the Sonic Game Award thing. I mean, on the video game. It's not the Sonic game.
Wait, did they...
Sonic Game Awards!
Wait,
It's
did
called
they announce... Did they
Sonic
announce-
Frontiers.
Oh, right, Sonic Frontiers! That was the game they... Fuck! We've got another piece of news and I didn't even realize it!
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail everything. I was just like,
That's
oh,
fine.
people are talking about Sonic Breath of the West?
Oh
Where's-
my god.
where's
Hang on,
Sonic
I've got to
Breath of the
reopen
West?
this. Oh god. Are they showing this right now? Or
No,
did
it just
already happen?
ended.
Oh, damn it.
I'm sorry, Dan.
Well,
It's
see,
cool,
I
it's
can do
cool.
this magical thing by going back in the live feed, and that's what I will do to watch it right now.
Yeah, I guess we're
That's
doing
sick.
another one of these.
I'm sorry.
It's totally
That's
cool.
fine. We don't want to talk about Antoine, so it's fine.
Okay, I am finding the point in the stream where this starts. Okay. I'm starting the Sonic Frontiers trailer.
It looks sick as fuck.
Sonic team, Sonic's running. There's like a weird
Sonic
rumbling
Skyrim
force.
Real.
Let's see. He's being chased by these 3 ships. They shoot lasers at him, and then he does a weird digital effect that lets him run fast.
Did he just get digitized?
I think he got
Fractal code
digitized. Well, now he's in a very Unreal Engine looking place, very open world sort of feel. I don't know how much this is going to be in the final
Sonic
game.
Skyrim Real.
It does look like Sonic Skyrim. We've got all these big sweeping shots of the environment that imply an open world. He sees something mysterious, and then the trailer ends.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but it exists.
Sonic Frontiers.
My brain is incredibly broken, and whenever they do these shots of like Sonic running in an open field and seeing something ominous, I immediately think about Sonic 06, and then I start to cry.
I think this is Sonic 06 again.
Right. So
Could you imagine if this was Sonic 06 too?
That'd be extremely funny.
It would be extremely funny.
That's what they deserve.
Yeah. It's coming to all modern consoles, and PC, and also the now technically last gen consoles like the Xbox One and PS4. Yeah.
It's coming out in like 2022 or something.
Yeah, holiday 2022. So, anyways, let's get back to yelling about Antoine.
Hey, you guys remember Antoine?
Who?
Who?
He's some dipshit.
What if we could play as Antoine in these games?
Oh,
they'd be
holy
bad.
shit.
If only.
Could you imagine the Sonic, like, Smash roster and one character is just fucking Antoine?
Yeah. He just plays like Luigi.
He's like a insane grab tech.
So, where the fuck was I?
It's a very
Yeah.
disorganized episode, I'm sorry.
We were on right after the gang decides if maybe Antoine is worth saving. Robotnik takes the funny ring he got from Antoine and he puts it in a big funny machine and is like, "This will track Sonic's every move, haha, you idiot." And Antoine's like,
He also
shit.
is like, I'm gonna roboticize you now, Antoine. Actually, he
Right.
never says Antoine's name. I think he doesn't know it. I think he only
He
knows
might not
Sonic.
know who Antoine is.
What pure bliss not to know who Antoine is.
He's like, wow, you're an idiot. You gave me a ring.
You stupid idiot.
Yeah, he does just call him that one and that. So yeah, he's gonna roboticize Antoine, turn him into a worker robot. And what happens? I'm sorry, I'm just completely thrown off. So
I think this is when Sonic, like, arrives.
yeah, so
Sonic
right,
keeps getting hit by the laser that Robotnik is using to track him, so he's like, oh, I can't run. So he has to, like, slowly walk to save Antoine.
Yeah, he, like, doesn't realize at first, because he thinks, like, Robotnik can only... Like, the gang thinks Robotnik can't use the ring, only Sonic can. But then they're like, oh, but he might figure out a way to use it. And he did. He tracked Sonic's running with it. Right. So yeah, Sonic has to, like, walk up to it. And now he gets, like, real tired from walking. And I'm like, so, like, you know, his running power is, like, confirmed a power that he's using. Which we knew, but, like, you know. It is interesting to be like, oh, he's kind of... I don't know if out of shape's the right word, but he's not... He gets tired.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is like a power he turns on and off.
He's a speedster.
So, yeah, he gets to Antoine. Sonic sees that, Sonic's, like, sneaking around, and he sees Robotnik going off with the, now rebuilt, robot from the start of the episode. And he also sees Antoine being escorted by, 2 other SWAT bots, and he has to, like, grab onto the back of their, like, hover car. So, also, here's a weird thing. I guess it's permanent night in Robotropolis, cause, like, when Robotnik and Snively are in the or outside the forest, it's, like, daytime. But in Robotropolis, it's just night. I don't think there's ever been a daytime shot.
That's the
pollution,
I
was like, maybe it's the pollution, yeah. It's just concentrated in one area.
Yeah. So Sonic saves Antoine. Antoine tells Sonic about the tracker. And Sonic is gonna juice. He runs to the forest.
I got the juice.
Robotnik's, like, using the tracker on him and firing lasers at him. Antoine's just clinging onto Sonic, so he doesn't die. And Sonic gets on top of the big, tentacle deforestation robot, so that when Robotnik shoots a laser at him, it hits the machine instead. So, now, Sonic and Antoine are surrounded by SWAT bots, and Robotnik says he's always wanted to roboticize Sonic, but he's changed his mind. And then he gets a laser rifle and prepares to shoot him. Antoine pulls the ring out of the robot, I guess?
Yeah, it's just, like, apparently right on the side of it, easily grabbable.
Yeah.
It's not like in a generator anywhere.
Yeah.
This is Antoine's redemption arc. Finally, he doesn't fuck up.
But now... He did something right. Hooray.
Hooray.
Sonic and Antoine, now that they have the ring, can just get away. And they go back to Knothole Village, where Antoine tells everyone a fake story about him fighting SWAT bots, and everyone but Tails knows he's lying and leaves.
Yeah.
That's the episode. I forgot to make an ask post. So
that's okay, we're running long anyway.
Yeah, we ran a little long. We had
not that long, but...
Yeah, it's not that long. It's honestly pretty normal length, but we did break down a big news event. We watched 2 trailers. We talked about 2 episodes of cartoon. I think we've done enough. So, first off, next week I decided we're gonna have a little smaller one. We're gonna talk about Sonic Christmas Blast, which is a Christmas special Sonic animation. It takes place in the world of adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, but also Sally's there because this was made after after SatAM came out. Yeah.
But it's in the Adventures universe? Like, is there Scratch and Grounder and shit?
Yeah, Scratch and Grounder. Robotnik is voiced by Long John Baldry. I
can't wait to see Scratch and Grounder in funny Christmas hats.
Expect to see basically Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog Sakuga. I also want to check the Sonic YouTube thing, because I think that there might be one other Christmas thing they did one time. I just need to find it.
So here's a cursed question, since we didn't have a questions post.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think until Ken Penders rises from the ashes of this humiliation of having to cancel the Scourge Clinic and just makes Scourge NFTs?
Mm.
You know, I'm shocked he hasn't done it already.
Yeah.
Honestly,
maybe sometime in the next
Scourge
month.
NFT.
Okay, yeah, there is like a...
I mean, if Neopets can do it.
Ugh.
Neopets sure did do that, huh? But yeah, there is
Hearing about the Neopets saga in the new Shriek Shack. There's a new Shriek Shack. Was definitely something.
Yeah. So yeah, there is like a 5.5 minute short we can also watch alongside Sonic Christmas Blast, because it seems to be the only other time any Sonic thing talks about Christmas.
They're doing it the right way, honestly.
Yeah. Sonic has only acknowledged the holiday twice in the 30 years that it has existed. Not counting any comic stuff that I don't know about. And like one piece of like Christmas, a couple pieces of Christmas themed art. Like that's it. Like there's Sonic Channel art.
Nice.
So I think we will save our roll for then, because I think it'll be fun. Because after that episode, we'll be taking a 2-week break until 2022. And yeah, I think that'll be a good way to cap off the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do the plugs. I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places, and you can find all those places at linktr.ee/big_challenges. From there, you can find my Twitter at Bigger Challenge. You can find my other podcasts, which include Pod of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. We are enjoying season 3 a whole lot. It's fucking wild. I think the plot is moving a bit. Some stuff has happened. We haven't talked about we haven't recorded the next episode yet, but look forward to that. You can listen to Video Games, the Movie, the podcast. And for December, we are bringing on Elliot and Gigalithic to talk about Ace Attorney, Gyakuten Saiban, the 2012 Ace Attorney film. I'm really looking forward to when we do that. And you can also listen to my defunct podcast, or my finished podcast, Chill Bleed, and the inactive actual play podcast, Stranger's Fiction. Oh, and last but not least, visit at Xbox_Holiday to celebrate holidays with Xbox. I'm just trying to think of a random thing coming in these coming weeks. Let's go with Merry Christmas, Xbox.
Merry Chrysler, Xbox.
It's Christmas.
It's Crumbo.
Yeah. So, yeah, Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me throwing my fucking phone on the desk and making noises for Dan to edit out.
Oh, boy.
You can find me on Twitter at Haunting the Morg. That's Haunting the MORG. You can also find me on my other podcast, Departure Lounge, Plain Base Hunter x Hunter podcast. That's on hiatus. Digimon Ghost Gaze, a Digimon Ghost game watching podcast, which Dan was on recently.
Yeah, we talked about the show, and we also talked about this weird short cartoon that has that takes a similar premise.
Yes, funny races, wacky races.
Yeah.
And then it's not out yet, although I keep talking about it. You can find me on forward ReZero, which does have a Twitter. The ReZero Watch podcast that I'm doing with Sarah Sunhat Zhenya and Neve Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the only one who hasn't seen it before. I believe the first episode's coming out this week. Don't quote me on that. It's kind of a bi-weekly sort of show. We were like, let's just chill about this, especially since Sarah has a billion podcasts. I think that's it. Yeah. Devon, where can we find you?
You can find me on also a Hunter x Hunter podcast called Gonewell Hunting. And that's about it. I'm not on any other podcasts.
All right. And you can find us on @ShuffleSonic on Twitter. From there, you can find our Discord. And you can also find us on Noisepace.xyz. Noisepace.xyz, podcast incubator, podcast network, call it what you like. But there's lots of podcasts on there, and it's got a Z in it because it's run by a Canadian. You can listen and, this week's, shout out is The Stick. David and guests joined to talk about Homestar Runner. David and Zoe. Zoe's on the earlier episodes. She isn't on in the later ones, but David talks about Homestar Runner, its influence on culture, a lot of wiki reading. It's a Homestar Runner podcast, and it's neat. I don't think it's particularly active. The last episode was July 10th of 2020. It is
Pandemic's got us all.
It was the 13th episode.
It do be like that. Thinking about Departure Lounge. It do be like that.
Yeah. Let's see. As far as I could shout out another podcast that is about Homestar Runner and is much more active, but I don't know. I just look up Come On Fahuga Pods if you can figure out how to spell that. I don't know. Anyways, that so until next time, Sonic is real, he is strong, and he is my friend.
He is the only blue life that matters.
The only one.
Good night, everyone.
Sonic the Hedgehog.